Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
10 rounds. 3 minutes. 2 movies? Battle Remake.
Welcome to Battle Remake. My name is Buzz Mead.
I'm Eric Little.
Today we're talking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Go Power Rangers!
It's coming out on Blu-ray, 4K, and DVD. Should be today, probably.
Yeah.
And I think we intended to watch this in theaters, but I think we missed it because of whatever reason. I was traveling, and we went to something else or something. I don't know. We went to something that was more interesting to watch or something.
We had a lot of live shows for a while there.
We did, yeah. It was a lot
King
of
Kong, and then
I think Going in Style,
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
and Going in Style. Yeah.
They were all kind of back to back to back to back.
There we go.
I think we just got kind of overwhelmed with the live ones. So, but we checked it out, and the original movie that we're checking out is 1995, the first one, because there was another one that came out. I think Turbo, Power Rangers Turbo or something like that. And
this is the one that was based on the television series that so many of us grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
It was very popular on Fox. And I think we talked about this on a precast about how Fox, in their wisdom, is kind of a young network. They were less than 10 years old when this came out. Mm-hmm. They had a late afternoon block of programming catered to kids. Mm-hmm. And some of these shows became very, very well watched, very popular, and that helped grow the network. If you want to look at some of the things that grew Fox in its first 10 years as a network, you'd have to look at Bart Simpson, you'd have to look at Al Bundy, eventually the NFL, and I would argue that the Power Rangers had a lot to do with that too, because it was a very popular block. And when you're a TV network that's tied with a movie studio, and they're one of the first really to be that, you could then turn that, you had the resources to make a movie out of that pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think you mentioned it too, that it was the first Power Rangers property that it didn't reuse the old action scenes,
right,
or whatever like that. But it was all like new stuff that they filmed fresh for it or whatever.
Yeah. They used the non-action scenes with American actors, and because it was basically a ripoff of a Japanese children's show, and those action scenes, I think they took from the Japanese series.
Yeah, it's called Super Sentai.
Yeah, and
Sentai.
And we're dubbed using the American actors, and so their action scenes were really limited in it. But this was all new.
Yep.
So
that's it.
Yeah.
Round 1.
So the story, and these are not the same story, so it's not necessarily a fair fight, but we really don't care about that here at Remake either.
It's basically which generation of Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Who did it better in this case?
Yeah, for sure. The original story, the Power Rangers, are like already a team.
Yeah.
And
well established.
Yeah, they're established. A new villain comes to play called Ivan Ooze. He's awakened after some construction workers are digging, and they uncover his sarcophagus or the place where he's trapped, whatever you want to call it.
Some valuable thing that he is embedded in the earth centuries ago.
Yes. He's woken up, and a lot of the villains, I think, from the cartoon series are also included there, but do they wake him up, or do they know? I think they know about him, right?
I think they kind of try to work with him, but he kind of puts them on ice, essentially, and pushes them aside to take on the Power Rangers himself.
Yes, and then he's able to... He destroys the command center, and then they lose their power, and they have to go to this other planet to get their power back or something like that, right?
Right.
Okay. That's pretty much the gist of it, and 2017 is a little bit different. It's an origin story for them.
It's Friday Night Lights meets The Breakfast Club.
That's a great way to put it, Eric. That is, I was looking for the right words to encompass it.
And even the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Sounds very Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
The instrumentals on it.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, the Red Ranger is a high school football player.
He's a quarterback.
They got in trouble and got kicked off the team, and and basically can't play anymore. But what I mean by the Breakfast Club is these kids aren't all friends already, which is a big difference from the original series. They come together in detention, and then they end up at the mines together, where they find these coins that essentially give them their power.
Yep. And Rita Repulsa is the villain, and she is... I'm not sure how she comes... If she comes back because she's in the ocean, and then the fishermen find her, or did she... Is that what happened?
Yeah, she's brought back from the ocean around the same time the coins reemerge.
Yeah.
You know, the Red Ranger's father is a fisherman who plays into this too. They're his guys, and then Rita kills those guys. Right. The father, by the way, is played by Roy from The Office, which I thought was kind of cool. But little David Denman shout out there for you. But I like how the Rita Repulsa character is aged at that point, but the more powerful and the more strong she gets, the more youthful she is. It's almost like
that's true. Actually, I didn't
in the movie Hocus Pocus, where the more powerful the witches are, the younger looking they become.
That's a great movie, Hocus Pocus.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. How we just talked about this.
Of these two films, which did you prefer? The story.
I love these revelations you and I have, by the way, when we find out these cult movies, or not cult movies, but we both love these. Yeah. But in much the same way Rita gets her youth from that, and he gets stronger and takes on the Power Rangers. Yeah. Honestly, I like the Origins film better. Okay. I really liked New Power Rangers. Okay. Really liked it. Wow. Yeah, and I did not think I would care all that much, because I'll be honest, my brother was a bigger fan of the Power Ranger franchise than I was, and he was on at our house all the time. Yeah. He was a huge fan. Yeah. I watched it. I wasn't a huge fan of it, really, but I mean, I knew enough about it. Yeah. I probably have seen the movie at some point. Boy, that's a stinker of a story in the original. And I think we've talked about why. That's deserving of that. I think we've talked about why Hollywood does this with kids' movies sometimes. They introduce a lot of new characters, a lot of new themes, so they can sell a lot of new merchandise. Yeah. The Power Rangers have to wear different uniforms because, they have different powers. Right. And so there's all the different stuff that comes. There's different Zords, there's different, different villains, different everything. So you can have an entire line of merchandise that is just for the movie. And it's completely separate from the rest of it. But what you lose in that is you lose a story, or you make a movie that's devoid of anything that's recognizable in the series. If they had cobbled together 4 episodes of this series and stitched those with a recurring plot line, whereas on the show you have to say to be continued. Right. If you did that, that would make a better movie than this. Yeah. Because I don't believe there's a single putty in the film, which is the most recognizable thing of the series. They fight these putties. Yeah. And maybe it's unfair that I'm comparing that movie against the series, but when you're marketing this in the same vein and most of the same cast members are in it, that's what you expect. That's deserved. Yeah. The moviegoer expects to see that. A fairer fight maybe than between these two films will be between the original and the TV series and the remake and any of the other superhero-based movies that are out there. Yeah. Pick your favorite one. Yeah. But since that's not what this is, I go remake because I like that story a lot. Yeah. I like seeing how they come together a lot. I like that they're not friends. I like that it explains some things about why they are how they are. Yeah. Whereas the original deals so much in stereotypes that until the movie, in the TV series, the black guy is the Black Ranger. The Asian girl is the Yellow Ranger. Yeah. The cheerleader is the Pink Ranger. Right. Just how tacky can you get at that point? So the story's lame in the original. Yeah. And on top of the fact they've told us some backstory, they've really given us a lot of reason to invest in these guys. Yeah. By the time the fight scene comes. Yeah. In the remake. I have to agree with you. I dug the remake story. I dug it until they started to fight, actually. But as far as they do kind of catch on to that a little quickly, don't they? Well, it's an interesting thing because I think they spent the time to make them a team and to bring them together and to make you believe that they should be a team and that they're. It was interesting thing after interesting thing, like they couldn't morph until they became a team, and I like that angle too. And like one ranger dies, and it's an important plot point and it brings them together, and I think that was great. It's a great play to have them all have a little bit of
either a tragedy or a little bit of something different, in their lives to kind of make them different a little bit.
Right.
So that was great, and it's just more character stuff like than we get from the original, because there's no character stuff at all. It's just them trying to come together and fight a villain, and it's kind of crutching on the fact that you already know these people, like from the animated series. The cartoon, not the cartoon, the kids series, and that you like them already, so that you go to the movie and you don't have to. But a better play would have been just to like push the story forward somehow, or to evolve the characters like some other way, and they just didn't do that.
See, that's another problem I have with the entire thing. I think both of these movies were either poorly marketed or poorly executed. Depends on how you want to call it.
Yeah.
The original needed to be more like the TV series.
Okay.
It was unrecognizable.
Okay.
And kids, they went to see it, so the thing probably did well at the box office.
Yeah.
And sold a crap load of merchandise.
Yeah.
But it was a terrible film.
Yeah.
It stinks on ice.
Yeah.
Whereas I wonder who they're marketing the remake to. I mean, and this is partially me not really being in touch with what kids want.
Yeah.
Are the Power Rangers still relevant with kids?
No.
I mean, and if not, are you marketing this to a generation that's now in their 30s?
Yeah.
That is mildly curious because it says Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll take their kids to it.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I feel the same way, that it was somehow a misstep. I like the character stuff, but I feel like the Power Rangers in general is a misstep right now, because it's almost like they were playing it to our sensibility, but at the same time, the costumes and the Zords, they have to evolve with that sensibility, and I feel like it didn't evolve.
It's like they made a good film.
Yeah.
They made a really good film, and a lot of times that's not the end result in this kind of case. A lot of times when you don't really have a vision as to who you're marketing this for, who you're writing this for, or even doing the whole project for.
Yeah.
And that's the one big thing that I think the 2017 film lacks, is who is supposed to care about the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't feel like this was marketed to me, when this came out. I barely knew that it was out when it came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, are you marketing this to kids? Because it's really an adult story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a teen-tween story, really.
Yeah.
It's a great picture.
Yeah.
But I don't know who was supposed to see this.
Yeah.
And I think that nowhere along the line did anybody consider that.
Yeah.
But usually what you get when that happens is just a mess of a picture.
Yeah.
But it's a really good story, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think, just for example, in the 90s, there was a Transformers movie that was animated.
Right.
And it was called Transformers the Movie. And the character stuff that they did in that movie, and I think they were taking it from the cartoon into the movie. There was deep character stuff. Optimus Prime dies in it. Mm-hmm. And as a kid, I used to watch it all the time. And I think it wasn't supposed to be for kids, but it had adult stuff in it, and I feel like that's kind of what they needed to do, like with the first Power Rangers, is kind of evolve the story somehow, and not just make it like a marketing ploy, but it came off more like a marketing ploy. So.
Well, again, that's one of the things, and maybe we get into this a little bit later, but sure. I mean, I read somewhere that this movie was written, it's a standalone film, but it was written to where you could make a series as long as 6 movies. They have treatments and ideas to do 6 movies with this, but it was a box office flop. Yeah. However, merchandise sold really well for this.
Right, yeah.
So they may still make those movies.
Yeah.
I'd be a fan if they did, because I like the first.
Round 2.
Round 2, which director did you like better, Brian Spicer from the 95 film or Dean Israelite from the 2017 film?
I think you have to go remake here, just for the character stuff. I mean, and I know we talked about the Power Rangers already, but I mean, even Zordon, even like Rita Repulsa, like you get the backstory on them a little bit, and it helps to know like why they're doing things and the motivations of the characters. So, and I think that has to be my choice for the remake.
Honestly, I think I like the remake because I'm going to go with remake here too.
Remake.
I don't see a whole lot of CGI in this for an action film. There's the part where they're finding out their powers, that they can climb stuff and they can jump and go through things. Like go through water to find the secret hideaway. But it doesn't stick out to me in this film as much as it does in some other films. There's some other films where I watch it and it's like, holy crap. For instance, in a recent precast, we mentioned that. Was it Wonder Woman? I saw Wonder Woman recently. Yeah. And while it's a good film, within the first 10 minutes or so, there's a big fight scene, and it is all CGI.
Really?
And while it's an impressive scene, you're just like a little turned off by the fact, or I am at least, a little turned off by the fact that it is entirely CGI.
Right.
You know, not that there was no work on that. It's just like, oh, it's animated at this point. It doesn't stick out to me as much in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the action was good. Again, like you said, the character stuff.
Yeah.
You don't get that in the original.
No.
You know, and part of the problem with the original is because the familiar villains are cast aside, you're almost glad to see them back. It puts you in a case where you're rooting for the people that were villains.
Yeah.
In every other time.
Yeah.
You're like, well, you know, this Ooze guy is pretty bad, but you know what? Or you know, Rita and Goldar are pretty bad, but they're not this Ooze guy.
Right. Exactly.
So you actually root for the villains a little bit in the original one.
Yeah. Let's go round 3.
Round 3.
The character of Zordon. I think I had this a little bit mixed up here, and I want to correct this because I had already printed out our sheets here. In the original, the actual actor who's on screen is Nicholas Bell, but he's voiced by Robert L. Manahan. Manahan. Okay, so there's two things there. In the new one, it's Bryan Cranston. Which did you prefer?
And again, I think this is going to be a recurring theme. The character stuff really wins us over. I'm going to go the remake.
Okay.
Remake.
Because not only... it's like somebody watched the original and they said, why is Zordon in this screen? And no one in the original ever thought to answer that or to any level of satisfaction.
Yeah.
The remake kind of busts him out of the glass as he dies,
right.
Which is why you have to have somebody play him and then he's voiced.
Yeah.
But Bryan Cranston plays this Zordon character who's been imprisoned and put into this realm where he can only appear through this wall or whatever.
Well, he used to be the Red Ranger.
Yeah, yeah. In his former...
important plot point.
Yeah, his former team.
Right.
But the plot point you mentioned with them killing a Ranger, Zordon basically gives up his chance to come back to life.
Yep.
And you know, because Zordon, early on when he's dealing with the Rangers, the new Rangers, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
Yeah.
And the Red Ranger calls him out on it.
Yeah.
Because it's evident to them that Zordon only wants to use them to get his life back. And then he realizes, you know, he lays down his own life.
Yeah.
You know, for one of the other Rangers, which, like you said, becomes a major plot point because if you would have told me going in, Zordon's character evolves,
right.
That's not what I would have imagined.
Right.
I mean, from what I saw from the original and the TV series, I'm like, how does Zordon evolve? He's in a freaking wall.
Yeah, for sure.
But the Zordon character evolved.
Yeah.
And Bryan Cranston, it's a very understated role for him because, you know, he's very famous from a lot of other things. This is not one that you would think of him from.
Not at all.
But he does a good job at it.
He does a good job, yeah. Yeah. And
they needed somebody with his depth because of some of the characterization.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember hearing the casting of this, and I was like, Bryan Cranston in this movie as Zordon. I'm like, how is that going to play?
I thought it was a waste.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it actually plays really well, actually. And the movie starts off with him, and he's the defeated Red Ranger, and his team has been. She turns against them.
Turns against them. Okay,
yeah, not turned, but there's a fancier word that I'm just not finding it right now because I'm an idiot. But you know, it makes sense. His performance, you know, is great. You know, I can't think of the film, you know, like without him, really. You know, so
yeah,
it's good. Round four.
Round 4.
Which Red Ranger do you like better, Steve Cardenas from the original or Dacre Montgomery from the remake? Is Steve Cardenas the one that did porn? Was it that Red Ranger that did porn?
I don't know.
Because I think
you seem to think that one of them did porn.
Yeah, you just click on him here. See if that was him.
Okay.
I think that was like the controversy with him. That I don't know if it was like the original Ranger that did, or
You seem to think that at least one of them did porn.
That was like a big story one day, or several
What if you
years
just
back.
imagined all this in your head?
I don't know.
Here, I'll do a search right now.
You do a search for Steve,
and then I'll put porn after it, and hopefully nothing comes up that's
You put PRN.
Oh, my bad. There. This is riveting podcast.
Go Porno Ranger. That's funny.
We'll just search porn. Here you go. Everyone's like, what are we doing? No. Oh, wait. No, you're right. Just as Walter Emmanuel Jones, Austin St. John left the show that did not reach the price for the second season, he was replaced by Steve Cardenas. The actor was involved in the scandal where he took part in a gay porn film. Okay, Eric.
Okay, so it wasn't Steve.
You are vindicated. Wait, was it?
Steve was the guy that replaced Austin St. John.
Okay.
Who left the show because of the gay porn scandal.
Oh, okay, so it was the Austin St. John guy.
I'm still vindicated because somebody did gay porn.
It was the Red Ranger.
Also, that's the first time anyone has ever been vindicated because of gay porn. Or probably any porn.
Yeah. So of the two, I can't place the guy's face,
No.
as far as so.
The fact
I have to
that
go with the new one.
The fact that there was a scandal involved, and I couldn't tell you if that was the one that did it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I like the performance of the remake. I thought it was good. A little cliche, but I like the character stuff. I like the fact that he brings everyone together. The quarterback thing, it's a little cliche for me, but I don't mind the performance. I thought it was good. So
I like Jason Street. I mean Jason, whatever this guy's name is, because like I said, this is the Friday Night Lights angle. This is this is
Dacre Montgomery. You're talking about?
Yeah. Because Dacre Montgomery basically is Jason Street from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Only
yeah,
he gets kicked off the team and becomes a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
You're right. I think there's, with a possible exception of Amy Jo Johnson,
right,
the original Rangers are largely forgettable.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would argue David Yost as the Blue Ranger. He sticks out to you for some reason.
He has the glasses.
He has the glasses.
Right.
He's kind of nerdy.
Yep.
But the other one's just like, and people could argue Tommy, whatever, fine. He's not in this picture, so that's a debate for another day.
Actually, he is in that picture. He's in the remake.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, believe it or not.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But he actually is in both of them then.
Yeah.
But, for all intents and purposes, the character's not in the remake.
Right.
But I think the Rangers were meant to be forgettable.
Yeah.
Because, they had no leverage with the studio.
Right.
And as you saw, several members of the cast were replaced after the first season.
Yeah.
So it's like they had a legitimate gripe. The studio's making all this money off of something I'm doing. I want my cut of it. And they're like, screw you, we own you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do without us?
Yeah.
And the answer was apparently nothing.
It's an interesting...
Or dudes.
It's an interesting...
in Austin St. John's case.
Interesting plot point, for a sequel or for future films, because the new film goes into the history of the Rangers a little bit, and there was a team before this, and apparently there's a team on every planet that it's like they're in charge of protecting the crystal or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
But the fact that essentially you're expendable, kind of, and there'll be a team after you, kind of. I think that's an interesting plot point that they could tackle, in a future film or something like that. To almost like, is that why Rita? Is that why she turned on people? Just because?
Again, they allegedly have the plot points or the treatments for five more of these.
Yeah.
So you're right. There's a lot of room to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that will be an interesting motivation for Rita if it comes out to. Why in the end, if they get to an end,
right?
Why they did that. Honestly, I'll say it again. I would like to see these movies made.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go see the next one of these in a theater.
Yeah.
I have no problem plunking down.
Yeah.
Whatever it costs, because I was really into this movie. But yeah, I think some of the casting that we're going to see here is done with a lot of different things in mind. Mm-hmm. Most notably, you don't recognize any of these five Rangers yet, but I think that when they were cast, the hope was that you would someday.
Right.
And I mean, that's why I'm going to go with the original. I like that it's a fresh face. It's somebody new. The original, or I'm going to go with the remake. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I
misspoke a minute ago. It's a fresh face. It's somebody new, and the originals were designed to be forgettable.
Okay, cool. We'll take a short break here. I'll be right back with more Battle Remake.
must act swiftly. The planet is in grave danger.
Danger from what?
6,000 years ago, a morphological being known as Ivan Ooze ruled the world with a reign of unparalleled terror. He was on the verge of completing construction of his ultimate weapons.
I love their
the
mid-90s
ectomorphin
fashions.
Titans, twin machines capable of enslaving the entire universe.
What happened to him?
A group of young warriors like yourselves.
I don't remember
lured
anybody
into
in the
a
90s
hyperlock
wearing.
chamber and buried him deep underground. But now the chamber has been accidentally uncovered. You must return it to the depths before it is
Accidentally,
opened and
conveniently.
Ivan is
They
released.
dressed Tommy up like he was Steven Seagal.
Near the chamber. If Ivan escapes, he's sure to find them.
Use extreme caution, Ranger.
Aye.
You are dealing with an evil here that is beyond all imagination.
I like that callback out of Bill Hader.
Yeah.
When Bill Hader drops an aye.
All right.
That's a fitting place to stop that, Buzz.
That was
Stop the clip as it was doing a circle wipe inward, and the circle is around Amy Jo Johnson.
Amy Jo Johnson is the Pink Ranger in the remake. She is played by Naomi Scott. Which did you prefer?
Naomi Scott does a really good job in this film. I thought she did a nice job to play somebody that is troubled, and you find out she's troubled, but then she only later confesses to why she's troubled.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a nice scene where she and Dacre Montgomery, the Red Ranger, kind of talk over some of her stuff, and I really thought they were going to develop that romantically.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, I think it would have been too much too soon.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they want to make more out of the series. Yeah. However, Amy Jo Johnson for life. Original. There have to be tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of young boys who started figuring out that maybe they didn't like girls when they felt nothing for Amy Jo Johnson. That deserves the shots fired.
Right.
You knew you might be gay when. Oh my goodness, she's just tremendous in it. She captures the essence of what you want that character to be.
I think Tremendous is going off on a.
What's that?
I think Tremendous is a little heavy.
Oh yeah, I mean, well,
little heavy-handed.
no one's really tremendous
Yeah.
in the original Power
Yeah,
Rangers.
yeah.
Athletic, sexy, sporty, anything you want.
Yeah.
And she has a really cool cameo in the remake.
Yeah. I know what they're doing with Naomi Scott, and it's fine. I don't like the scene like where she goes into the bathroom and cuts her hair
I don't like
because
that
she's different now, literally and figuratively. You know,
It's a little too cliche.
Yeah, it's too cliche.
I don't know why Alicia Cara, Scars You're Beautiful wasn't playing during that because it just
Yeah.
a little too much.
But this is my thing. If you think of the Power Rangers, if I just go to someone, in Cleveland and I say Power Rangers,
Right.
who do they think of?
Pink Ranger.
They think of her and they think of the Tommy character probably because of the
Right.
ponytail, whatever like that. Those are the two ones they probably pick out. So
Dude was jacked too.
So
He was cut.
So did Naomi do enough to be the face of the Power Rangers? I don't think so. I think she's forgettable. Even though her character is great and everything,
Right.
And the acting was fine, I just think she's forgettable as the Pig Ranger, and you'll still think of Amy Jo Johnson. So,
Yeah.
So I go original as well.
Original.
So
Yeah. You can't forget Amy Jo Johnson.
you can't.
You just can't.
Let's go round 6.
Round 6.
It's a tough one, I think. The Blue Ranger, David Yost in the original or R.J. Seiler in the remake?
I think it's easy. I think you go remake because I think what R.J. Seiler does in this film, I think he makes the film actually work because in large part, he's comedic relief. But there's a lot of plot points that revolve him. I mean,
Yeah.
it's his.
He's the butt of several jokes.
It's his blowing up of the mine or of
The mountain.
of the mountain.
It blows
that-
off the face of the mountain, basically.
Yeah. So that uncovers the stuff. He's the one who dies. Kind of brings them together. He figures out the crystal is below the Krispy Kreme. So there's like a lot of plot stuff that he.
How much
he
did
does.
they pay for product placement?
Krispy Kreme?
By the way,
Oh, that's free for Krispy Kreme.
I mean, there's
I'm surprised it wasn't like a product tie-in, like to where like Krispy Kreme, had all the Power Rangers
first of all,
cups and.
yeah. I mean, first of all, they cater the set. Had to have catered that set every freaking morning,
Right.
But it's so instrumental throughout. They weave Krispy Kreme in,
Yeah.
all the way through. I don't see a Golden Arches anywhere in Angel Grove.
Yeah.
But boy, do I know where the Krispy Kreme is.
Yeah.
No, I like your points though. of all the Rangers, I think the Blue Ranger might have been my favorite in the original series. And I like what David Yost did. He was that nerdy, bookish one. Every group needs that.
Right.
You would say that that's like the Donatello in the Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Is the kind of nerdy, bookish one. Anybody has that. But I think R.J. Cyler really makes that character something different. And in a way that... Yeah, I'm going to go remake, because in a way that no other Ranger in the remake does, they really reinvent their entire character.
Yeah.
And it works.
For sure.
One of the selling points of this series, and we'll talk more about this here in a second, is the diversity of the Rangers, and not just racial diversity. R.J. Cyler not only is black, but they lead you, without saying it, I don't believe they say it, but without saying it, they lead you to believe he's he's suffering from he's dealing with high functioning, or he's a high functioning autistic person. I think is the way to say that. Yeah. So because just he's the attention to detail, everything has to be in a certain order. Yeah. There are a lot of strong clues that's that's a makeup of that character.
Yeah. So
because of that, we see some elements that we didn't get from the Blue Ranger. We didn't get from Billy in the original.
Yeah.
And he's a lot more tech savvy. That explains some of the tech savviness and some of why he can do what he can do, because he's very highly functioning, and that's how his brain power works.
Yeah. Round 7. The Yellow Ranger in the original is played by Karen Ashley. In the remake, it's played by Becky G. She doesn't give her last name.
She's a rapper, rapper and a model, I believe. I looked it up because I'd never heard of her either. But yeah,
okay, cool.
That's why she's just Becky G.
Did you prefer? Which one did you prefer?
And again, this isn't a fair fight either, because Karen Ashley is not the original Yellow Ranger from the series.
She's not.
That's a change for the movie. Originally, that was played by a young Asian woman. But to go back to the diversity point, Becky G, playing the Yellow Ranger, we're led to believe she's either bisexual or at least questioning her sexuality.
Right.
It's kind of left in the air.
Yeah.
So they go either way with that. And honestly, I kind of wondered if they weren't going to make the Pink Ranger and the Yellow Ranger have a romantic, which I'm glad they didn't do that either.
Yeah.
The Pink Ranger is kind of caught between red and yellow, truthfully, but in more ways than one. But I really like what Becky G brought to this role. We got an interesting backstory from her. She's the new kid. She's moved around a lot, but that's the character that I most want to know. I want to know more about.
Yeah,
I most want to know more about out of the originals.
Yeah,
or out of the 5 in the remake, I guess.
I'm going to go with you because I can't remember the original one. I can't.
As long as it's forgettable.
Yeah, and I think her and the Black Ranger are the most underdeveloped as far as the characters and stuff like that.
Right.
But,
the Black Ranger, we know his thing is that his mom's very sick.
Right.
He's afraid she's going to go home and she's going to die. So he's dealing with a heavy thing. And that's all she's got.
Yeah.
Or all he's got. But why is the Yellow Ranger? Why is Becky G's character? Why are her parents so oppressive? Why is she moving around all the time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't really go into that. Oh, they don't solve it really at all, or give her any kind of. I guess she does grow a little bit. She grows, or she doesn't feel like she's part of the team, and then
she opens up to them.
She opens up,
and probably, again, she's 4 schools in 4 years, and she's probably 16, 17 in this movie.
Yeah.
Those are 4 difficult years to not really have a support group, not really have friends, and anything. I've known a lot of people who didn't have, strong friendships during those years, and whether you kept them or not, those friends are either friends you keep for life, or they're stepping stones to college friends or high school, to not have a lot of hardcore friendships in those years, that's tough. And because of that, she becomes a little withdrawn and inside herself, and she opens up to everyone around her, tells how she feels. And there's a scene where where they're bonding, and she kind of lets loose with a lot of stuff and says, I've not said any of that out loud.
Yeah,
it's important. And when the viewer is let in on that, you feel like you've gone through something with them.
Yeah. We'll take another short break and we'll be right back with more Battle Remake.
I was once just like you. So pretty. Innocent. Are all the Rangers on Zordon's new team as young as you? Delightful.
This is Rita
Have you morphed yet?
invading the Yellow Ranger's bedroom.
Trick question. If you could morph, we'd be having a very different conversation. The Yellow Ranger. Should I kill you? I killed the Yellow Ranger before. And I loved it.
And that goes back to your point,
You want armor.
the expendability of them.
I'll show you mine. If you show me yours.
And it's going on in the bedroom, and this is a little erotic because of that. And a line like, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
No, please, you're hurting me. You're so strong. I'm just kidding. You've got spunk, little yellow. I see myself in you. I was an outsider on Zordon's team, just like you. All I need to know is, where is the seal crystal? I don't know.
Good luck explaining that drywall damage in your bedroom to your
Right.
oppressive parents.
Tomorrow, I am going to destroy Angel Grove. But in exchange for your life, you will find out where that crystal is, and you will come to me. We can have a little deal. Dee Dee, my friend.
All right, that was Becky G and the actress Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa. In the original, the villain is Ivan Ooze, played by Paul Freeman. Of these two villains, which did you prefer, Eric?
Yeah, worth noting, as we mentioned, that Rita Repulsa's character is actually in the original, but
Yes.
Ivan Ooze basically puts all the original villains on ice. You know, Rita,
Snow
Goldar.
Globe.
Well, yeah, Snow Globe for Rita, but Goldar is not anywhere near except for the beginning and the end.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of goes his own there. So all those characters that you recognize from the TV series are around, but they don't really do anything.
Yeah.
So like I said, when Rita is freed from her Snow Globe captivity,
Yeah.
you kind of root for Rita in the end.
Yeah.
Because of that, I like Elizabeth Banks better because that villain is just meaner. It's more in line with what we expect from this series.
Yeah.
And I think there's a danger in going too out of line with that. Why do I care about this Ivan Ooze guy?
Right.
You basically give me 20 minutes of this movie to tell me why I think I should hate this guy.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Rita, I can go in with only a passing knowledge of the Power Rangers and know that, oh, Rita was the bad one, that's right,
Yeah.
and pick this up and it's no big deal.
I think there's something to be said for their plans, like as well. I mean, like with Rita, you understand that there's a crystal in under the Krispy Kreme, and she wants to get that, and she's trying to collect gold, you know, to make gold art in order to do that. So that's her plan. Ivan Ooze, there's a bunch of other like subplots that are going on. Like he's trying to hypnotize all of the adults in Angel Grove so that they're able to do the digging. Like, but then he
essentially enslaves them.
He has to market Ivan Ooze so that kids get the ooze to take home to their parents. And I was like, wait, there's just like way too many steps to this plan. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If you're so powerful, then just do what you got to do and don't have to market ooze on a TV program.
Cast a spell one time.
Yeah. It was just like so many steps or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I have to go with Remake with you.
Well, the first step is always acceptance, and I don't accept this.
Yeah, yeah. And it's an interesting thing that they do in the remake. I mean, because there's a fine line you have to walk with this character. You know, is she trying to kill people? Is she trying to do? I mean, because I think it goes back to your point. Like, who is this for? Is it for kids? Is it for? I mean, is it for adults? I mean, you don't really know. You know how far she's going to go, and I feel like maybe the villain is a missed opportunity because I like the backstory and I feel like I wanted more of that backstory.
Yeah.
Like why did she turn on the original team? Like
betrayal? Is that the word you were looking for?
Betrayal. That's exactly the word I was looking for. I could not come up with it.
Where does her betrayal come from?
Exactly.
Is it out of a sense of knowing her expendability, or is it out of a sense of seeing that you could do more with your power on your own.
Yeah.
Why am I with this team? Screw that. I'm going to go on my own on this and see what happens.
She mentioned something about they were going to take her back to Zordon and see if she was worthy or something like that. And she kind of flipped out and said, I don't think Zordon should be the one to, to save. So I think there was something there, but they didn't really go into it. But
again, out of all these action hero, superhero, reboots and remakes, this is the one that I feel maybe has the most legs.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to tell here.
Yeah.
If they continue to do as well with it as they did with this one.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to, who is this for?
Yeah.
Who's watching this? I mean, I'm watching it, but I mean, am I really the market you're going for?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Round 9.
Round 9.
All right, Alpha. Which Alpha 9 did you prefer better? Is it Peta Marie Rickson, who plays Alpha 5, rather, in the original, versus Bill Hader, Hader in the house, and Alpha in the remake plays Alpha 9?
I'm going to go Hader, probably, just because just the it's just too much.
I like that they did it once.
They did it once
in
just
the
to call
remake.
it back and just to say, just for like fan service, pretty much. But it's just too much. I feel like I wanted more, I think, backstory on like Alpha 9 or Alpha 5 or whatever he's called. I mean, is there different generations of Alpha? I think they said like he was waiting for like X amount of years, like 1,000,000 years or whatever it was. Like, I mean, so like, what does he do in that time? I mean, like, what is he shut down that time? I mean, so I don't understand like the rules of Alpha, kind of.
Yeah.
So, but I'll go remake. So.
Yeah, I definitely will go remake here because how many films do you see with Bill Hader where you don't really notice that it's Bill Hader?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't stand out, and that's a good thing. He doesn't stick out for and trying to steal the show or anything like that. He blends in well.
Yeah.
As the role that Alpha should be. Kind of facilitator between Zordon and the Rangers. He's a bit of a buffer, a bit of a go-between, bit of a sidekick for Zordon in a lot of ways. And he's the one that kind of is the liaison between the Rangers and Zordon. So I think Bill Hader's that facilitator that you need without dominating the show.
This is just sidestepping, but I just watched Year One.
I know who's in it. Jack Black, Michael Cera.
Yeah, it's a film by...
I saw Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
His name popped through.
Yeah, Harold Ramis. And the priest is played by Bill Hader. And I didn't even realize it was him until I started to hear.
I know it's a rule, but I'm a little fuzzy on the exact details. Forbidden.
And this isn't like a Catholic priest. This is like a tribal priest.
One thing you're not supposed to do.
Black face paint, red and yellow trim.
Implies there's a little wiggle room. There's no wiggle room with forbidden. You're cursed, man. If you stay here, we'll all be cursed. You have to leave. Where am I supposed to go? I didn't eat the fruit. My hands are tied. I know I'm being a dick right now, man, but I'm just trying to help you.
Do I detect a little bit of jealousy because I now have the knowledge of good and evil and you don't?
You think it's easy being the shaman of a village? You think I like putting a boar's head on every morning? Putting a bone through my face? I know we've known each other for a long time. We throw the rock around. I mean, we have fun together, man, but I can't be... You know what I mean? Plus, you want to know something? I am high as shit right now. I just licked like 3 toads. I've been up for like 27 suns up and suns downs.
Okay.
I just want to get a meal. I want to take a fucking nap.
This is bullshit.
You really... You fucked the pooch on this one. Hard.
I say what I did was a good thing.
All right, that's all.
Yeah.
It's not Year One, but it's like I didn't even realize it was him until the credits, and I was like, oh yeah, that was Bill Hader. So he does go right into the roles. You're right about that. Let's go round 10.
Round 10.
The ending. Do you prefer the ending of 1995 or the ending of 2017, sir?
I like the ending of 2017 because the Rangers do what they need to do. They get the win. They save Angel Grove.
The win.
Yeah,
Nice.
Basically they win.
Yeah.
You know, the good guys win. They save Angel Grove, but not in a way that defeats Rita decisively, so that Rita can come back and maybe mount up a stronger challenge now that she knows what she's up against with this new group of Rangers.
Well, is she dead at the end?
No, she's kind of exiled to space. They kind of...
So she freezes up, but that doesn't kill her.
No.
Okay.
we're led to believe that she...
I'm talking science of
she could
space.
reemerge somehow.
Okay.
The ending of the original, like I said, is weird because the bad guy, Ivan Ooze, loses, but in that, you get the original villains freed.
Right.
So you're happy for the villains.
Right.
Because they've been imprisoned by this even bigger dick.
Right.
And it's just a weird position to be in.
Yeah.
Where you're in the end, you're rooting for the good guys and the villains. Because at least some sense of order is restored. It's like, now they can go back to fighting the real bad guys.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a weird place to put a viewer in.
Yeah.
And again, the ending leaves me wanting more of these characters.
Yeah.
And there's even a post-credit scene or a mid-credit scene that leads you to believe that if they do another one,
Tommy's going to
it will be to introduce Tommy as the Green Ranger.
Right. Which I don't
because he joins the Breakfast Club
which I don't need
in the end.
Well, and so I'll go remake because it is an ending. But I think that's my problem is anytime they lean on the original, I feel like they don't need to because it's going in a different direction. I feel
right.
like so like anytime you like bring up stuff from the past, I feel like they don't need it, because and because I think the strongest part about the group in the new one is that there is only 5, right? 5.
Yes.
And I'm able to wrap my head around each one, even though a few of them I don't think it's great character stuff, but it's there. All of a sudden you get 6, and it's like...
And that's how it was on the TV series, too.
Yeah.
For the longest time, there was 5.
Yeah.
And then later on, there was a 6th.
Yeah.
And then it was the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
That, was the hot merchandise at that time.
Oh, wasn't the Green Ranger like the leader at some point?
Well, it in real life, it would have been a weird alpha male, showdown.
Right.
Between red and green.
Right.
They somehow coexisted.
Yeah.
Like if this were a locker room or if this were a movie set
right.
or, I don't know, any office or a group of friends, it wouldn't have worked well. Yeah. Somehow it did. They just didn't address that.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Green Ranger became the White Ranger for some reason that I can't remember now.
Right.
So it's even more merchandise
right.
that they have to sell.
Yeah.
But you raise a really good point about how anytime they try to lean back on something from the original, the only thing they really need from the original is that you understand that there are 5 Rangers.
Yeah.
Zordon and Alpha are the good guys, and here's what they're fighting. That's really all the backbone you need.
Yeah.
The callbacks are neat. It's kind of cool. I enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
I enjoy seeing the original Pink and Green Ranger in it. I
didn't need it. It was too long, by the way. It's at least like 2 or 3 shots.
They're only in the one though.
No, but there was a close up and then there was like a faraway shot, which is
the close up is the only one that really. There was a cut scene from the from Krispy Kreme that they were in, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because this is the only one that I saw, and you clearly know it's them.
Right. Because she's wearing pink, he's wearing green.
Right.
And they're front and center in this group of people taking pictures of the Zords.
And then it goes to them again.
Okay, it's just panning back. Like the Rangers are doing like a touchdown dance, basically, in the Megazord.
This is weird, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, there was something before that, too, though. I know there was.
I thought the guy at the jewelry store counter was Jason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's a close-up of them right there. It's
they're
like 2 or 3 scenes.
They're interested observers.
Yeah.
But still, those scenes don't total 10 seconds.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, if you're going to show random people... By the way, Amy Jo Johnson looks fantastic still. If you're going to show random people, why not show people that are meaningful? For the record, he looks good, too. But he kind of looks like Michael Richards now.
She was Jennifer Garner, like before Jennifer Garner, right?
Yeah, because, if... Wow, that's actually kind of good.
Yeah.
Like, she was the original female villain.
Yeah.
That was action-y and all tough, and she was maybe 5-6 years before Alias?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, all right, let's go to a section we call...
That's a wrap.
If you have to recommend either the 1995 Power Rangers movie or the 2017, which do you recommend?
Well, the 95 is a dumpster fire, and it's not even close to...
It doesn't hold up.
No, it doesn't hold up to now, and it doesn't even hold up to the original series.
Yeah.
Like I said, go watch 4 contiguous episodes of the original series, and you're going to enjoy that a lot better than this film.
Yeah.
Because you'll at least see familiar villains, familiar settings, and stuff that's familiar to you.
Yeah.
2017. It's a completely fresh look of the series with fresh-faced actors and actresses playing the Rangers. Enough recognizable Hollywood types in some key roles, Zordon, Alpha, and Reed Repulsa. And as an origin story, it holds up more than most origin stories that I could remember.
Yeah.
A lot of times I get bored by origin stories when I go see a familiar series and it's an origin story.
Agreed.
This one, it's all the character work.
Yeah.
And if they make one movie, if they make, 2 more, 5 more, I'm down for it for now.
Yeah.
For now, sign me up for this series. Because I want to see this, I want to see more of this, and I want to answer some of those questions that you brought up. So, I don't know, all the way remake.
We haven't mentioned that the 95, it's like chock full of like one-liners, just like one-liner after one-liner after one-liner. It's really bad. It gets really annoying.
It's like your drunk uncle wrote it.
Yeah. So I like 17 until they put the uniforms on, and then you lose the characters. If they do go forward, I hope they evolve the suits.
Yeah.
I mean, so that you're able to see the people inside, because otherwise,
well, they kind of did a little bit because the visors flipped up.
Yeah, well, that was good. That was a good part.
They never did that in the original series.
But it's got to be like that like the whole time, because otherwise I don't.
And to that point, though, that's a little bit about why they were so replaceable and expendable individually in the original, because they spent so much time in the suit.
Yeah, that's true. And I just feel like they have to update almost everything. Like as far as and it's a weird balance, because you're trying to explain in reality why they're a team, and then all of a sudden there's these giant Zords that come from somewhere, and there's these powers that come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to have like both sides, like to where they're grounded in reality for the team, but then it's like everything else is fantastic, and we don't explain that, kind of. So it's a hard balance, kind of. But it is a fine movie. It held my attention the whole time. So
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, me too. All right, that's it. The score is 91-99 for the remake.
And that the reason that's not 100 is Amy Jo Johnson.
Well, yeah, she pulled it out there.
Yeah, she did.
That's what he said. Yeah, and I don't, and I mean, like from what I read today, it kind of underperformed, and I don't think it's gonna. I mean, they were talking about the 5 or 6, and I don't know if there's going to be the money there to do it. Which I wish they would. I wish
I do too,
because it seems like there is enough of a mythos. And I don't know how many seasons there was of the cartoon of the kids series.
Well, but then again, the kids series, no pun intended, morphed into a few different things. It was like there was Power Rangers Turbo, there was Power,
Yeah, but there is. I mean, there's a long history to pull from as far as like movies or even like a Netflix series or something like that. There is. Yeah. There's every 3 things you could pull from.
Every 3-4 years, it seemed like Power Rangers was rebooting and doing something new.
Yeah.
So. It almost wasn't recognizable after a while.
I feel like they could do something like new with it, but it has to update it. It has to update like Transformers updated, kind of. And like even though some people didn't like what Michael Bay did, they did take it in a different direction, and they tried to evolve the the Transformers into something else, or to give them a story or something like that. And that's kind of where this has to go, I think. So
it's just a shame they did such a good job with this one because of the fact that they really don't have any built-in audience for this. Like who was this made for?
Yeah.
Let me go back to the question I asked at the beginning of the show. Who is this for?
You're right.
I don't know. Is this big with kids still? Is this big with...
Yeah.
I mean, are they going for our generation that remembers the series?
Yeah.
And that wants to see it rebooted? I mean, there's not a built-in audience for it.
They should have put Tom Cruise in it.
What, right? It solves everything. You're going to lose a bunch of money anyway.
Right, exactly. All right, that's it for Battle Remake. If you want to check us out, we're on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Facebook, and on the website. Yeah. That's it.
Rate us and review us.
My name is Buzzmead.
I'm Eric Little.
Until next time, have a good time all the time.